Hi, Sag. Hi, Sag. Good morning. We are going to go into October. And as we do this, we're going to look at the last couple days of September, the full moon, the last huge super full moon of a cycle. I think there were 3 before this one. This one will land in Aries, and it'll be the first time we touch the nodes. It's not going to happen exact. It's not the crazy eclipse that's coming, but it is activating that frequency. The energy that's coming in for Sagittarius is still the frequency of revision, because the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter is in retrograde still. We've got a couple more months with that energy of our ruler rewinding what we think we know about our ability to sustain ourselves, our ability to put in the work needed. The ruler of Sagittarius is currently 6 signs away, so it's about health. There's a lot of Sagittarius people reaching their breaking point when it comes to how they're taking care of themselves or not taking care of themselves. If there's Libra placements in your chart as well, you're going to see this hitting you on a very large scale. It will be unavoidable. And that's because of the nodes moving through Aries and Libra. The nodes are like so magnetic, and they reflect the connection and the middle ground between the sun and the moon. And those are the luminaries. In all astrologies, the luminaries are known to be the most effective because they're the quickest moving. The sun, 1 degree a day. The moon can move a whole sign in 3 days. So between those 2 energies, you have the nodes of the moon, which happen to be tracing the spaces of eclipses. And like I said, we're moving into eclipse season. It's in a fire and air frequency, and Sagittarius is also a fire sign. So this is a trine and a sextile whenever the eclipses are happening. This means the energy is not going to feel forced upon you. Not to say it won't be intense, but it will be in your lane of activation. There's so much happening in the month of October for Sagittarius specifically, and it's internalized in a lot of ways, again, because this frequency is happening in such a way that it's affecting the ruler who's retrograde. So it's a lot of understanding what part you've played up to this point, so that you can figure out where you want to go and how you're going to move different. So let's look at a couple of the aspects. I don't do solar and lunar aspects generally, because I will note when the moon is in your sign. That would be the 17th of October. And we already had the moon come through the sign in September. As I record this, we're just past that. And the aspect to Jupiter and the sun doesn't happen in October at all this month. Mercury and Jupiter will actually create a frequency on the 29th, and that's during the eclipse. So there is going to be, and it's not just any aspect, it's an opposition. Mercury recently went through retrograde itself, so it's clearing new space, it's figuring out how to do things differently and applying new techniques. Jupiter is doing internal expansion. The difference between external expansion and internal expansion is, one is about revising the vision internally, revising the vision of self rather than the vision of life. And so with Mercury making this opposition, there's going to be kind of a agitation activated. And it may even feel like an oppression in many ways, especially from young people. People that speak and know your communications and speak to your communications, speak to the neighbors, the friends, the coworkers that you generally work with, even roommates in this situation. There's going to be a come to a head, and new information is going to be revealed. Opinions are going to be obstructed And there's going to be an opportunity for internal expansion about theories of self, things you think you know about yourself, your own morals, your own values, not those of the people around you, but yourself, based on the information that you get from these people. And again, this isn't during just any time. By the time this aspect between Mercury and Jupiter happens, it's actually during eclipse energy. And when eclipse energy affects us, it creates a very shocking tidal wave of change. Eclipses happen 4 times a year, in pairs, 6 months apart. And this time, with it happening in the tropical cardinal signs, it's affecting the initiation of things that you've been waiting to begin, things that you've been already trying to get started. This new information, this new realization, this new addition to your moral compass, and recalculation of what's your bigger vision about yourself and about what you think is vital and important. This may be political. You may have called yourself a conservative and now you're like, I'm, not dealing with politics anymore. Or you may switch teams and go from one to the other. It may also, being that there's so many things and new information happening in the world, it may be that one person says, I'm never going to leave. This is my home country. I love them. And then all of a sudden, the world gives you information. Your neighbors tell you certain things, and you're like, I can't be here anymore. There's lots of different big factors that are going to come in, but it's going to be children, neighbors, coworkers, and roommates that really give you this, and employees too, I should mention, because this sixth house, third house aspect. So again, Jupiter is sitting 6 houses from its ruler, and it's working with Mercury, which is the natural ruler of the natural third house. So there is this frequency of working with yourself to adjust your habits to the new information that has helped you have a new vision about yourself. And that's going to be a big tidal wave of change. So that's the aspect with Mercury. And you can also expect Virgo and Gemini people, and people with strong Virgo and Gemini and Mercury energies, to be kind of that person who brings that information and gives you that oppression in and pushback on what you thought you may have titled yourself based on the morals you may have been keeping for some time. But we're all supposed to change and we're all supposed to grow. So there will be a trine on the 22nd. This is a few days before. We'll see a trine to Venus with Jupiter. Venus is going to be, she'll be in, let me just check. When there's a trine to Venus with Jupiter, there's real magic happening. Those are the two benefics. I mean, there's no perfect planet, but if there are two planets that can give off the feelings of comforts and support and love and happiness, it's these two planets. Venus will be in Virgo at this time. She's in a completely new sign. She's already past Black Moon Lilith, meaning that she's in the clear of any kind of drama, and she's really working to prioritize health, to rebalance the way one takes care of self, and to close up any final self-sabotaging frequencies in order to have better, healthy, balanced partnerships. So the trine between Jupiter and Venus, because there's 5 signs difference, there's going to be a loving frequency, a connection frequency that you'll be able to take part in. And I think it'll be really healthy for you to just lean into that and have a good time with it. Mars will make an aspect, an opposition, one day before the eclipse energy. On the 28th of October, Mars will make an opposition. So Mars and Mercury are actually working quite closely, meaning that, like I said, there's going to be this kind of oppressive, unavoidable energy for Mercury people. You can expect Mars people, which are Aries and Scorpio people, to have that same kind of pushy, nosy, opinionated effect on you. But it's for good reason. Don't fight it, okay? Don't take offense. Take the opportunity. Because anytime we are facing someone who gives us a little bit of an opposition in what we think we know, especially about morals, values, political opinions, these type of things, religious factors, the natural stance for the longest time in the old paradigm has been to push back and stand your ground. But really, it's about learning and expansion. That's what Jupiter really wants you to do. He wants you to open up your ideals and let yourself develop and evolve. So as that happens, just before the eclipse, when Mars takes that opposition to Jupiter, it's best if you um, ears open, mouth closed, and just keep it simple. Take the information in. If it doesn't sit right away, just take it with you, and be thankful that you got the opportunity to share, and you got the opportunity to have somebody else's opinion bestowed on you. You don't have to take it, and you don't have to make it your own, but it's worth listening to. It's worth sitting with, picking away the personalities and move into the principle and figure out what that person was trying to share with you, and what the purpose of that could be, what the silver lining of that could be. Even if it feels bitter, or it feels uncomfortable, or you feel personally attacked, pull back and take a look at the bigger picture and see the opportunity, because there's always an opportunity, especially when it hurts, especially when there's an adjustment period with Jupiter retrograding. This happens for almost half a year every year, Sagittarius. You know this. This is an opportunity for you to pull back and be like, okay, but what's the point here? What can I do with this? Were they really trying to hurt me? Are they really attacking me? Or am I just taking it on an offense? And that's your best bet. So I don't see any aspect with Saturn this month, which is fantastic. I don't see any aspect with Uranus. I don't see any aspect with Pluto or Lilith, which is, it's good. There's that's good energy. Jupiter itself will be retrograde the entire month of October. So this is, take it slow. Don't burn yourself out, because it's totally possible that you might burn yourself out. And when you do, you'll regret it, because you're going to miss out on some really great opportunities to move in a different direction, and really get to know yourself on a higher level. Fully accepting that, we know better, we do better. Don't hate on yourself for what you didn't know and the way you used to walk or talk or carry yourself before you knew this new information that adjusted the way that you presented. Because honestly, that's what development's about. Being humble and accepting of your old self, not embarrassed or shamed, because you were doing the best you could with the hand you had. You're getting new cards now. Speaking of cards, we're going to do a 3-card spread here. We're just going to look at the past energies of Jupiter retrograde, the current frequency of influence, and the upcoming advice. All right. Good, thank you. So the first card is the 9 of Cups. This is very much a Jupiterian card. 9 is honestly, I think the 9 of Cups is more of a Pisces card, because it's kind of like the cat with canary, right? So it's 9 is an energy of Sagittarius. We know Sagittarius is the natural 9th house, but Cups is the energy of water. So this is very much Pisces energy. As Pisces is a co-ruler with you, he uses the same ruler, Jupiter. You can expect the old ways of you being satisfied, the old ways of you having enough, to be a topic of contention. It may be a smugness. You may have found that the old way of you getting wish fulfillment, just wanting it and getting into alignment, isn't enough. There's more that needs to happen in order for you to feel that level of satisfaction that used to come so easy. We got a couple of cards here. So I'm just going to take the top one, and then we're going to put these ones down, and we'll look at these in the extension. But the top, this is the energy that's coming in, which is a new truth. Okay, there's a new direction, a new beginning, cutting through the bullshit, and you know there's a new truth. And we're going to look, Sag, we're going to look into these in the extension, because these came out as clarification. With the Ace of Swords, this new dynamic, this new independence, this new ideal, this new truth is unavoidable, and if you try to pretend like you don't see it, everything else is going to feel real uncomfortable. But we'll get clarification in the extended. Okay, let's, one more card, Spirit. One more, oh, okay, yeah. The 4 of Wands, reversed. The 4 of Wands is a celebration card, marriage card, but it can also be just grounding and creating a fortress based on the actions that you have, creating stable foundation, laying yourself in the space where a foundation will be set. Really being able to lean on the work you've done and the activity you've done and the action that you've taken. But when it's reversed like this, and this is a beautiful card, when it's reversed like this, especially considering there's two bunnies here, there's something about the fertility match or the abundance match and the partnering that you're taking that's just not rooted right. It's not solid, it's not stable, you can't lean on it. It may be that you had your bets on something and you leaned into it and you found it just wasn't enough. And so we need to know, Spirit, when we're going forward with knowing this stability, this foundation isn't set yet. What do we need to do to make it set? What do we need to do to have a stable foundation? Interesting. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to pull a couple more cards in the extended Sag. This has been your astrology. I'm Astrobrie, and if you'd like to order the extended, it's $20 to my PayPal. I'll be pre-recording it right now. Thank you so much, and happy October, and happy eclipse season.